Hi everyone, this is Jeremy, and thanks for watching my show and my channel. This is RetroFat, and we are watching the classic 1980s, early 90s sitcom Just the 10 of Us, where I show the show, I pause after scenes, I react to it, I provide my commentary, and we all bitterly regret that ABC canceled this show way before its prime. Today's episode is the 20th episode and the final episode of season 2. So this is the season 2 finale. It was the 24th episode overall, called Rock and Roll Fantasy. And this is one of those episodes, kind of like Dreamgirls, that everyone remembers and really celebrates. This is a Lubbock Babes episode, and it was the one where all four girls had like their fantasies of what they hoped singing would lead to for them. And this episode was directed by Mike Sullivan, written by Dan Gunselman, and it first aired on April 28th, 1989. Now, I have something huge to share that I am very excited about. It absolutely made my week when this happened, but Mike Sullivan actually talked to me about this episode. And I took several pages of notes, and yes, this is on construction paper because that's what I had handy during our conversation. But he gave me a lot of behind the scenes information about both Just the 10 of Us and this episode. So thank you so much, Mike, for taking the time out of your busy day to talk to me. As a fan of the show, it was incredibly exciting. As someone who got to talk to the director of this monumental episode, that's even more exciting. So this video might run a little bit longer than most. I promise I won't interrupt without a scene ending the way I always do. But there are a lot of things I'm excited to talk about, including because we have the uncut original run versions. You're going to get to see Wendy and the Butler, which I'm very excited about. So sit back, grab your popcorn, pretend it's TGIF in 1989, and let's watch Rock and Roll Fantasy.
In honor of the Lubbock Babes' 8 smash weeks, all our medium pizzas will be cut in 8 slices at no extra charge.
I'm throwing good mascara after bad. 8 weeks in this sleazy dive, and I'm still not a star. I mean, how much do I have to give? How long does this dues paying deal go on? I should be someplace classy, like Vegas.
The nuns were right. Sing is just sin with a G on the end. Look what I've become. The tempter's showing too much cleavage. There. Now it's too much.
Here it is, a Saturday night. I should be out looking for Mr. Right. Instead, I'm singing to a room full of Mr. Wrongs. Wait, that's not nice. Just because all the guys out there have beer bellies and bad breath doesn't mean they're undesirable. Yes, it does.
My simple-minded sisters, satisfied with the cheers of the rabble rather than the tears of the intelligentsia.
Why am I here?
Also with us tonight are the proud parents of our stars, the people you came to see, the Lubbock Babes. Folks, let's have a hand for Coach and Liz Lubbock. And by the way, Coach is the #1 reason why we had to cancel All You Can Eat Night.
Hey, Courtney, you know how important it is for our daughters to sing here? Please, don't make a scene!
Okay, a quick comment about that. And this is something that Mike shared with me, which I had definitely already picked up on. Of course, he gave me a lot of behind-the-scenes info. Elizabeth can hold her own with Graham. She is both like the emotional center of this family. She's the heart of the family, but not in a way that makes her unfunny. She can be the butt of a joke at times, like we just saw then. She can overreact at times, but more than all of that, she can hold her own. Bill Kirchenbauer is comedically, he's a heavyweight. He's up there. And I think it could be really easy for a lesser actress, and I hate to say that because I'm not in show business. I know nothing about any of this. But even if I'm not in comedy, I can recognize some comedians are funny and some aren't. So the point I'm making is I think it would be pretty easy for somebody without her level of talent to get completely overwhelmed by his comedy, his performance. And they don't. They play together really, really nicely. One other thing that I want to mention, just because we're about to head into the opening credits, I have a few things. One is that Bill, Jamie, and Brooke, as I understand it, did not have to audition specifically for Just the 10 of Us. Bill was chosen for this to be like his starring vehicle from Growing Pains. Same with Jamie and Brooke. They had already had roles on Growing Pains, so they were just carried over. Everybody else needed to audition, and I believe Heather Langenkamp and Joanne Willette auditioned together and were hired together. But one thing he said, and I can't imagine anyone else being a Lubbock, but the core 8 were the first choice. Like, there were no, well, we want this actor or actress, but couldn't get them, so here's our second choice. It was, they got all their first choices, top to bottom, which is, I think the fact that this pretend family meshes together so well definitely shows. One last thing, which I want to mention now before we get to the opening credits. So in the opening credits, we see the family in a different order. Like, we start off with Graham and then to Elizabeth, and then we go to Sherry, JR, and then the 4 older sisters, which is not the order it is typically done in. I asked about that, and billing is usually contractual, but it's not guild related. I thought it would be like a SAG rule that if you were, on the show, you were always guaranteed to be in this spot. And that's not necessarily the case. So Mike admitted he didn't fully remember, but like Bill and Deb might have been number 1, number 2, and the others may not have had contractual billing, which is for how they appeared in the credits, which is why they were able to rearrange them for this funny joke we're about to see. All right, let's get back to it. I won't say anything else till they finish their first song.
Now, before I go on, I just want to say...
No. Let me go first.
You guys have some bad news.
Stop. What I'm about to say is really important. Just let me say
Your
what I
hands
say.
together for the Lubbock Babes.
Well, we'll talk about it later. We're on.
Definitely my last night.
Everyone, they can see we're together.
I'll tell him right after the show.
I wonder how they're gonna take the bad news.
Somewhere in this town, thin people are having fun. Hey, I'm singing and thinking at the same time. And they say I'm dumb.
Just let me stick for the record. We're giving love in a family dose. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. Oh, we are family. Get up, everybody, and sing. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, and sing. We are family.
Okay, very quickly, somewhere in this audience, I haven't spotted him yet, Rich Reinhardt is there. Rich Reinhardt played Rich from the Dreamgirls episode. He was the singer before the Lubbock Babes, both at the DJ, like Make Your Own Record booth, and on the first night at Danny's. So he is somewhere in the crowd. I know we see him later during Wendy's Fantasy, but keep an eye out for him because he's supposed to be somewhere in the pizzeria tonight.
We are family. Get up, everybody, and
Singing for peasants. Gavin dues for Danny's Pizzeria. Is this any place for real chanteuse? When love comes in and takes you for a they spin. Ooh la la la, say magnifica. When every night your loved one holds you tight. Ooh la la la, say magnifica. But when one day your loved one drifts away, ooh la la la, it is so tragical. But when once more he whispers, shut the door, say my It is my one joy in life to make you weep. Thank you.
Let's hear it for her, the one, the only Constance, or as we call her, l'Américaine, a term formerly reserved for only the genius, Jerry Lewis. Constance will be back in a few minutes. In the meantime, why not enjoy the wine?
Mademoiselle,
It's
Oh,
important.
hi, Toulouse.
I travel across Paris to see you tonight.
Oh, thank you, Toulouse. It must have been quite a trek.
This is for you.
Another portrait?
I paint what I see.
You've truly captured my pitiful essence.
Tout à l'heure.
Connie.
Sacre bleu!
No. Jacques Douzelier. I tried to stay away, but I couldn't.
Jacques, for the 100th time, I can't marry you. It would make me too happy.
I spit on your happiness.
It's too late for your sweet talk.
Connie, I can't live without you and your miserable music. I can't eat. I can't sleep. My Peugeot dealership has gone to hell.
Jacques, don't you think I'm hurting too? But we mustn't be selfish. To truly share my gift of misery with the world, I must remain alone.
And I'll be with you.
Jacques, how can I be alone when you're with me? Get in the game!
If you change your mind, I will be at the top of the Eiffel Tower. For a few minutes, anyway.
Honey, I have the sixth sense that tonight will be lucky. This will be the place where we finally find her. I can feel it. There!
Connie!
Mon père! Maman!
Connie, I can't believe it. We finally found you!
Mom! What are you doing here in Paris?
See, I told you this was Paris. That's why all these people are acting so rude.
Connie, why did you leave so unexpectedly? No explanation, no goodbyes.
Mom, I had to leave. I had to find my destiny.
Destiny? You ruined our lives just so you can find your stinking destiny?
What do you mean ruined your lives?
Honey, your father had to quit his job to look for you.
I sell insurance now.
Wendy was hospitalized. Cindy turned to drink, and Marie,
Yes?
she became a Protestant.
Oh, Jill! I had no idea.
Connie, the important thing is that we found you, and you're coming back home where you belong.
Where I belong? Is this not the home of Les Americains?
Jerry Lewis lives here?
No, me, moi.
But Connie, honey, are you happy here?
Happy. Never been more miserable in my life.
Connie, baby. Time for your next set.
Oh, I must go.
But you can't go. You can't.
Elizabeth, we were wrong to say that she should come home.
But...
Now Connie belongs to Le Monde.
You ask, do I love you? The answer is, we.
Our family.
So Connie's fantasy is, of course, as bohemian as Connie would be. My favorite joke, it might be my favorite joke in this entire episode, is Elizabeth so distraught that when he was hospitalized, we don't know why, Cindy turned to drink, but Marie, clutch her pearls, became a Protestant. I love that joke. Mike Sullivan shared that there was some concern with the network about like how many crucifixes and how much religious imagery there was in the Lubbock's home, but they are a Catholic family, and I'll be honest, every Catholic family I know has crucifixes in their home. I mean, I personally, even though I'm Methodist, which is like Catholic adjacent, I loved seeing a religious family. That's a big part of the reason why I like this show so much. And we'll see Connie struggle with her faith a little bit next season, a bit in a very, sitcom appropriate way, which is also, I think, pretty nice to see. But anyway, that was Connie's fantasy. I do want to share also that, I want to make sure I get this right. Of the writers, the stories, the different fantasies were split up. Rich wrote Marie and Connie's fantasies in particular, and then Cindy and Wendy's fantasies were written by, I want to say, Dan Gunselman wrote their fantasies. So anyway, let's keep going.
My boyfriend's back. Boy. He went away, and you hung around and bothered me every night. And when I wouldn't go out with you, you said some things that weren't very nice. My boyfriend's back, and I'm gonna be in trouble. Wayne Newton works Vegas and I work here. Go figure.
Oh, what a crowd! They sure did! Hurry up, Wendy! Hey, just wait up! Who's that? Your future, kid.
Future? I don't have a future.
You do now. I'm a major talent agent.
Oh, well, that's great. Let me go get my sisters.
No, I'm not interested in them. I'm interested in you.
Oh, well, you don't understand. See, we're an act. We are family.
Don't kid me. I can look in your eyes and tell you what you're thinking. 8 weeks in this sleazy dive and I'm not a star yet. You're wondering, how long does this dues-paying deal go on?
Possibly.
You should be someplace classy. Like Vegas.
Vegas? Oh, no. No, I can't sell out my sisters. That would be wrong. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hey, I love you people. You know, Las Vegas audiences are the best in the world. I'll never leave you.
Wendy!
Okay, I hate to pause this in the middle of the scene, but I have a few things to say and something I need to point out specifically right here. So, the first thing that I want to point out is, of course, that Gunselman, Sullivan, Marshall, Big Time Studio sign. That is actually them driving onto the Warner Brothers lot. This limo was pulled up outside the Just the 10 of Us set. But here's the part that's really interesting. So Mike got, and I'm going to move my mouse over here so you can see these two people back here are to the best of my knowledge, he told me they were there, but he just told me they were somewhere in the limo scene, and I'm pretty sure this is them, was Kirk Cameron and Tracy Gold. And they were initially supposed to be like more visible, and that was cut. So of course, the Growing Pains, Just a Ten of Us connection, Just a Ten of Us was a spinoff. In addition, I don't know, he didn't say this, but this person right here, based on the way this person is walking, and I might be totally out of left field here, and this may be absolute nonsense, but I think that is Andrew Koenig, who played Boner on Growing Pains. So when I unpause it here in a moment, just pay attention to the way he walks. I really think that is him. I wouldn't ordinarily think that, but given that I know, or I'm pretty sure that's Kirk Cameron and Tracy Gold back there, I suspect that may be him as well. So here it goes again. I also want to say, before I unpause, that I love how much and how consistently this episode breaks the fourth wall. Now, Mike also shared with me that and I don't want to interrupt during, so I'll just say this now. The table read scene we get here in a moment, where the characters are playing, or the actors are kind of playing themselves. Initially, some of the actors were there, but they were playing different people. Like I think Joanne Willette was playing Barbara, and she was smoking. Of course, the joke being that she was about 12 years older than the character of Connie. Deb Harmon's character, or Deb Harmon's actress, I guess, was dressed very differently than the way we see Elizabeth obviously dress. So there's a lot there. Also, after the table read, we get to transition to Wendy and the Butler. So I'm not going to interrupt again until after that. So I'll pause after that, and then we'll talk some more.
Babe! Oh, gosh, you look fabulous!
Thanks. Who the heck are you?
Who am I? I'm Larry. I'm producing the new hit series.
Oh, yeah, right. I'm sorry I'm late. And she said
Babe, you late? Forget it until you get here. Everybody else is just early.
About the scripts.
Script? Hey, is that literature or am I crazy? For the class?
Okay, I lied. I'm pausing now. I won't interrupt again. But that was Rich Reinhardt, who just got knocked out by the door and face planted. Okay, I'm done now. I promise.
Oh my gosh! Where? Who is this?
I don't know. Hey, who are you, babe?
I'm the writer.
Oh, the writer. Well, keep up the good work. Careful you don't trip over here. Hey, sorry, babe. Hey, everybody, our cast is complete. Our star is here. Miss Wendy Lubbock. So if everyone can just grab their coffee in Danish, we'll begin reading our first script.
Oh, speaking about scripts,
I'm Bill. I'll be playing your father.
Hi, I'm Deborah. I'm playing your mom. I know it's a stretch.
Hi, I'm Jamie. I play your sister.
Heather, another sister.
Joanne, yet another sister.
Matt, the only brother.
Heidi, I'm 46 years old.
Okay, here we go. Pilot episode, The Dust Bowl Family. Fade in.
excuse me, but will this dust, will it, like, get on me?
Well, I suppose it could.
Ooh.
Ooh?
Well, I'm planning on wearing lots and lots of white.
Right. Uh-huh. Forget about the Dust Bowl. Pilot episode, Depression Family. Fade in.
Excuse me, but is it me, or does the word depression kind of make you feel, well, bummed?
Well, you see, babe, the Depression, or the Dust Bowl, is the main dramatic thrust which is trying to blow this family apart.
Oh, well, since you mentioned family, if this thrust thingy were to happen, wouldn't I, like, have to move to New York and live in a really neat penthouse apartment?
You don't want a family?
Oh, well, it's nothing personal. I mean, I could visit my family maybe once or twice a season, and they could be in a dust bowl, and they could be very depressed, and I could come and cheer them up by singing my Vegas act. There's 2 episodes right there, and I'm not even a writer.
So what we have here is you living alone in an apartment.
Well, dressed in white.
Right. In New York with no one to talk to.
Well, I could meet a different guy every week, and, well, we could talk in bed.
She is. And your mother could live with you.
Nah.
Perhaps you could bend the ear of a non-relative, with or without hair.
Wendy and the Butler spending the day throwing money away. Wendy and the Butler, they're flying high. Wendy and the Butler hitting the town, throwing big bucks around. They've got everything that money can buy.
Wendy and the Butler will be right back after these important words.
Okay, so the lyrics, you might even want to rewind to listen to the lyrics of that song. They are just the most rich, trite nonsense. Spending the day, throwing money away. They've got everything that big bucks can buy, just all about money. It is so shallow. I love every bit of it. But here's what is so weird. Like, it's almost like Mandela effect-ish here. Wendy and the Butler did not make it onto USA Network. It was cut. It was never, ever on the USA airings. And that's where most of us spent most of our time watching Just the 10 of Us. There are plenty of us who watched it in the first run. I was one of them. But the number of people who remember Wendy and the Butler, it's surprising. I've seen Brooke Theus comment on it on the Facebook group. This hasn't aired since 1989, and people remember it. And honestly, that tune has lived in my head for the past 32 years, and I don't know how or why. If it had been in the USA years, I was like, okay, that makes sense. But it wasn't. It was only on the ABC version. And I don't know, there's something about it. It was just catchy, and there you go. It's lived in our heads forever. So Wendy and the Butler, it's on YouTube now.
Dad, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Not now, JR.
Well, when?
When a Lubbock Babes starts singing on key.
Surely that's not nice.
Yeah, well, she's just bitter because she's short and not a Lubbock babe.
You don't know me at all, rodent man.
Boyfriend's back and you're gonna be in trouble. When you see him come.
Sherry!
What?
Pay attention. Marie's about ready to sing.
Heidi Ziegler was such a fun actress. I loved her delivery, was often so good. I really loved that. And was anybody else getting with the hair? It was the most 80s thing ever. I was getting like a Punky Brewster vibe. And I don't know how old the actress was here. I'm gonna guess around 10 or so. She had really good delivery and she had a decent voice. There's a part of me that's like, if the show had lasted, would Sherry have ever become a Lubbock Babe? And well, we'll never know until it's rebooted. Fingers crossed.
Feeling better now that we're through. Feeling better since I'm over you. I learned my lesson and left a scar. Now I see how you really
Hail Mary, full of
are.
grace, the Lord is with us.
You know.
Baby, you're no good. No good. I want to say it again. You're no good. You're no good. You're no good. Baby, you're no good. Baby, oh, you're no good.
Okay, so the scene there with Marie running, that was from, I wrote it down. I want to say the San Fernando mission. Sorry, the mission San Fernando. That was done second unit. I'll be honest, I'm not fully sure I know what that means. I'm assuming it just means like somebody who knows theater, I'm sure, or film can explain better than I can in the comments. But it's like first unit is dialogue, actual acting. Second unit is like pickup scenes, like things that aren't necessarily crucial to the plot, or crucial to the acting, but need to be filmed. I am going to out myself as ignorant in this next scene because I did not realize until this weekend when I watched this episode again in preparation to film this, that Mother Superior is Deb Harmon. I feel like I literally feel stupid. I'm just going to say it's not me being ignorant. It's Deb Harmon being a good actress, but I'm going to point it out so you'll recognize it. And if you are like me and you did not realize that it was her, please leave me a comment because I don't want to be the only one who's this stupid.
Who would enter? Your humble servant, unworthy to be in your presence, doing penance every day for the unspeakable sins of her past wicked life.
Oh, Sister Marie, come in.
I'm sorry I'm late, Mother Superior. I was out vacuuming the vegetables.
I told you to vacuum the vestibule. Oh, Sister Marie, the time has come to put one of your secular talents to use for a nobler and a higher good.
I'm not following.
Well, of course you're not following. 2 minutes ago you were vacuuming vegetables. My child, I want you to sing again.
Oh, Mother Superior, don't ask me to do that. Sing is just sin with a G on the end.
Well, not necessarily. Now, there's a very important man who needs cheering up, and a song from you might do the trick.
I'd rather not.
My child, when this man is sad, the whole world is sad, and right now he is very sad.
Oh, that's so sad.
Feeling better now that we're through. Feeling better now 'cause I'm over you. I learned my lesson, it left the scar. Now I know how you really are. You're no good, you're no good, you're no good. Baby, you're no good, no good.
I just have to say, I absolutely love the chanting of "Baby, You're No Good" in the background to this scene. That is such a great touch, and it adds so much to the scene. Now, I don't want to interrupt until after, so I'll go and share this now. The little person that we're going to see with Bill Kirchenbauer, that is Kevin Thompson. We saw him earlier as Toulouse in Connie's fantasy. What's interesting about him is that he was Matt Shackman's stand-in for this show as well. So I thought that was kind of a fun thing. And Mike shared that there was initially going to be a gag where Kevin, the actor who was a little person, was going to run between Evan Arnold's, Doosler's knees, but it just didn't work out. So it did not end up getting filmed.
I want to say,
Please, 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 please. Ready?
S'en allait tout simplement, routier, pauvre et chantant. En tout chemin, en tout lieu, il ne parle que du bon Dieu, il ne parle que du bon Dieu. À l'époque où Jean son terre d'Angleterre était le roi, Dominique notre père combattit les albigeois. Everybody! S'en allait tout simplement, routier, pauvre et chantant. En tout chemin, en tout lieu, il ne
such a Marie dance to end her song on. One other thing that Mike Sullivan shared, and I found this fascinating, and I have forgotten his name, but we'll see it in the credits, I think. The man who played the Pope, he got that job because he had sent a lot of postcards to like casting agents and casting directors and different people like that saying, hey, I can look like the Pope. And something as simple as that actually worked. It got him this non-speaking role as the Pope. So, all right, here we go. Back. Next fantasy is Cindy's. There is one thing I want to point out before it happens in Cindy's fantasy. So, Mike Sullivan shared that Dan Gunselman had like a very just cinematic view of things. And Mike Sullivan's, sorry, I keep saying the name Mike Sullivan. Sorry, Mike, just because, you know, there aren't any other Mikes I'm talking about right now. Mike said his favorite moment in Cindy's fantasy, his favorite moment of the show was in Cindy's fantasy when we have that subjective view through Cindy's eyes, through her veil, and then Graham asks her if she's a virgin, and she nods. And that wasn't really something that we saw, certainly in sitcoms at that time. We don't see it used much now. Every so often, you'll see the camera as, you know, point of view character. But that was something that Mike said he really, really enjoyed in this episode. All right. I'm not going to interrupt again until after Cindy's fantasy, I hope. Here we go.
When we first met, it felt just like forever. You were the spark, and I was the flame. I couldn't keep.
There's a cute one.
Rising, just whisper in your
eyes.
Now we both know what time can do to lovers. The fire can rage and then die away. But in my heart,
he is really cute.
My love burns brighter for you every day. Still got your fire, still got your need. Still feel your love from my head to my feet. Still want your touch, still need your kiss. Still know inside I hope it's been like this.
It's not too late to back out, honey. Are you sure this lug nut's good enough for you?
Sure as I've been about anything.
Well, that's my point.
Daddy, I love this lug nut.
You're still a virgin, aren't you, honey?
I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
I see the baby's head. Oh, it's a boy. Oh, wait a minute here.
I've got a grandson!
No, baby, we have two grandsons.
Twins! I've got twins!
No, Graham, you have three beautiful grandsons.
Isn't it about time I get to see your face?
I think it says a lot. It says so much about all of their characters, but I'm so intrigued that Wendy wanted fame and riches. Marie, I think we can interpret her fantasy as either she wants to serve the Lord, she may want to be a nun. We'll definitely explore that more next season. Or even just she wants to be useful. Connie's is She wants to be miserable in Paris. Connie wants to suffer. I think Connie very much would be the artist must suffer for her craft. But Cindy's fantasy was all about having a family. And that is a little surprising to me. I'm thinking last week, whenever JR in Puberty Blues, when JR said, hey, there's a rich, brainy guy in tight jeans selling Bible and selling Bibles at the door. Wendy liked that he was rich. Connie liked that he was brainy. Marie liked that he was selling Bibles. And Cindy liked the tight jeans. So Cindy wants, I think, a man who's attractive. I'm very intrigued by that. She thought Gavin from like Here to Here was this hunk she was interested in. I'm also intrigued by the fact that, and I think they did it because we would have recognized Gavin, but the faceless groom and husband and date and father and all of that masked man that we never saw was very clearly, I mean, it wasn't Evan Arnold. But again, I think if Evan Arnold had done that, I mean, the hair wasn't the right color. It was dark, so she thought he had darker hair. But, oh no, just a nice twist. I'm very intrigued, and I'm going to have to like let that sort of roll around in my head for a little bit, that Cindy wants a family. And in kind of like my pretend reboot version that I hope someday will happen, I see Cindy as the one who, because of both the fact that she's clearly the best singer and has the radio DJ job, she's the one who will go into the arts. But maybe Cindy's destiny is to be like Elizabeth. And maybe that's what Cindy wants, to just have a good marriage and have kids. Something I'm going to have to think about for a while.
Did somebody have something they wanted to say before the show?
Yeah, I did, but slipped my mind.
Me too. Me too.
We were stars tonight.
Yo, Lubbock Babes! They're begging for an encore!
I remember what I was going to say now. I never want to stop singing here.
All right, this was such a fun episode, and there were a few things that I wrote down that I forgot to mention, so I'm just going to mention them now. So one of them was that the shirtless men that Wendy was like laying on top of in the Vegas fantasy. I so wish this had happened. They initially wanted the fat guys from the pizzeria to be those guys. You know, picture like the dude when in Dreamgirls, when Graham shows up, he's like, out of the way, fatso. Guys like that to be, you know, the shirtless hunks that Wendy was on top of. I would have loved that. I'm so sad that did not happen. I finally saw Rich in the pizzeria. I never saw where he was sitting, but I did see him in the Congo line, and Kevin Thompson was in line behind him. Now, one thing that was also shared with me is that the studio was very supportive of this episode because, I mean, we didn't see the house. It was filmed in multiple different locations. This was an expensive episode, but I think a lot of us remember this one pretty fondly. Part of the reason that the Lubbock Babes existed is because of Mike Sullivan. And by the creation of the Lubbock Babes, this was really only the second time we've gotten to see them. They'll feature a lot more heavily in season 3. They were able to be another promotable element of the show rather than just, here's very funny Bill Kirkenbauer and his large Catholic family. There was like, oh, and also the girls have a singing group at the local pizzeria. The song that they sang for Cindy's Fantasy, Still Got Your Fire, that was a Steve Dorff original. I'm curious to see if YouTube is going to flag that particular song. This episode is definitely going to get a copyright claim, which is fine. Just if there's an ad, know that the money is not coming to me. It is going to whoever is that song copyright holder. Hopefully there won't be any ads put up. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks for supporting this channel. Thanks for supporting Just the 10 of Us. And hey, people from the show clearly are watching. So leave comments down below and you never know who might respond. So thank you so much. And I will see you next week.